Buenos dias. Good morning. This is sort of what does the teacher call it? A review. I talked about, I think, in not the last video, the video before that, a girl that I found online looking for girls who are in state prisons. Okay, and I wrote her a 126-page love letter so that she could experience the light that is in my heart, she could experience in her heart. Okay, which is to restore the light in her heart and ignite her fire. Crank that furnace up. Okay? That's what it is. And there's a lot of different ways of what I would call therapeutic ways to do that. I met a guy on the Big Island a few years ago who was from Alaska, and he talked about what he does called art therapy. Painting. Using painting. See, everything that I do and why I'm here, okay, which is the truth, is to restore the light. Okay? So when a healer, and by the way, Indians, when they're in peacekeeping, healing mode, and teaching mode, that's multitasking. We multitask. Okay? So, for example, when this girl named Misha, who lives over on the island of Oahu, grabbed me and asked me if I would be her spiritual advisor, I said, sure. And this gets into looking glass technology. Maybe I'll do a different video on that sometime. But that's always an honor. That is a humbling experience. For me, particularly when it comes from a girl. Okay? And she's a very beautiful, physically attractive woman. Okay? Who had she had 2 children with her. I know she has other children. I forget their names. She has a son who's 14, he's almost 16 now, named Logan. And then she has a 4-year-old little joy blossom. Beautiful girl. But when I got to know her, and this was really my biggest concern, was her daughter is already mimicking her mother's behavior. Okay, so in other words, she's programming and putting into memory, okay, the behavioral output of her mother. That's what we call garbage in, garbage out programming. It's just the way it works in a memory-driven program. When you're running on no memory and you are what love is, what you experience is totally different. Okay, you're not running around being a battery drainer, as I call it, okay, or what you might want to call energetic vampires. But anyway, I wrote the letter to the girl because it's not about us, okay? It's because we already have everything that we need. The energy that we experience is running at such a high rate of speed, okay, that I don't need any energy in you in order for me to feel what love is, because that's what I am, in living spirit. When you reach that point where you can bounce back and sort of get the goo off you, fry it off you, that's a gift. That's a gift that you give to yourself. And you share that gift with others. When you communicate what it is that you are in waveform vibration, you're communicating the energy that you are, which is your identity. So when you're running extremely high frequency energy, which is experiencing everything between past, present, and future, and essentially what is a built-in looking glass, okay, you're absorbing all the energy in the field. And you're measuring as you go as to its density, which is representing the density of the consciousness that you are interacting with, that is time vectored. Okay? So, this is therapy for me. Believe it or not, writing a 126-page letter to a girl who's in prison is sort of self-therapy. Okay? I'm restoring my own light by sharing the light that I have within me to another being who's caged in a box as a result of all of her experiences that brought her on her timeline, her event horizon, to where she's locked up in a box. She was severely abused and traumatized, like most everybody on the planet, when she was a child. Just like the girl Misha was on Oahu. She was sexually abused by her uncle. Okay, and her story is just horrific. Now, she's not down in a cage subterranean someplace, But I know I can, when you read somebody's energy, or what happens is you're reading how much resistance that they have, that is running through all of their circuits, which means they're not busting loose. Hey, I'm in a state of love and joy, man. I'm not holding on to nothing. And that's what ends up happening. We hold on to the attachments, and the attachments are based on density. You're holding on to lower density consciousness, which represents lower density consciousness experiences by those that don't run what love is. Okay? So we experience predatory energy down here. Right? Okay. So we have to clear it. That's what we do. We clear it. You clear it from memory. Because you're in a memory-driven place, because you remember it. You don't want to remember it because you wrote it in memory. That's the recording. So you got to get rid of the recording. Get rid of the data-driven information, which is based on the experience. You don't want to experience that, right? Of course not. So when the only thing you're ever experiencing when you come in here, which is love is the law, which means wherever you go, you're experiencing a high-speed waveform, man, everybody's allowed to do whatever the hell they want. Because now the energy that you're using to do it with is what you are. You're free. Go create some music. Go write a story. Go be whatever you want to be. You're free to go do that.